ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in
now eligible. We had one of those compete last week. 1-800-990-3776. Caller number 5, you get a shot in Rain Man, which is cousin subs for a year if you win the competition, which will go until the end of the year. So we got a few weeks left. And just for competing, you automatically win a $25 gift card from Cousin Subs. It doesn't matter how bad you are. Cousin Seb set that standard. I said, come on, you can't get them all wrong and get the $25. And they said, yeah, you can. Those are the rules. Okay, fine. You automatically, we have had one offer, but it hasn't really affected the quality of the performance. So it's worked out fine. Cousin Subs, $25 gift card if you're caller number 5, 1-800-990-3776. We already have caller number 5, so leave Pebble alone. You are not the selection. Eric will be the selection. So we have Rain Man, 15 questions in 2 minutes, and brought to you by Cousin Subs and Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. It's more now because I shortchanged them. The reason they are so good with employee benefits is because they've been doing it well for over 50 years. So Saganiac Planning is now a name synonymous with employee benefits, top-notch service, and doing it well for over 50 years. And a phone number you can remember. All you got to remember is 783, because it's Saganiac Planning, 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161.
That number again, 262-783-6161.
Clearly, even 3 but 6 numbers must be numbers that can be remembered, because in all these verification codes, they're all 6 numbers. Somebody decided that's the way to avoid, I don't know, people stealing your money or verify that it's you. And often the numbers are in a pattern that it makes it easy to kind of remember them. 262-783, Roger Maris, again. So Rain Man, stolen from ESPN. Everybody involved with it at ESPN is no longer there. Back at the beginning, it was Kenny Mayne, and it was to beat the Schwab. Rain Man was started because the man I referred to as Rain Man, Dan Needles, did actually beat the Schwab and was the contestant in Rain Man for many, many, many years. We've since moved on, and it is now Eric in Heartland. Eric, please, your Rain Man resume to give people an idea of what their expectations should be.
First time playing.
Pebble, feel free to help Eric, though we know he won't listen, but we do it anyway.
Eric, you got 2 minutes to get through all 15 questions the Homer's going to give you. Don't dilly-dally on any questions. If you don't know the answer, say skip or pass so Homer can come back to it. The goal is to get through all 15 questions within the 2-minute time frame.
And
sounds good.
Yep. The first question is always the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. Has to be about Marquette, and that's because Saganiac Planning has been a great supporter of Marquette for, I would say, all of the 50-plus years they have been around. So the first question about Marquette, the final 14 can be about anything. most often in sports. You ready to go, Eric?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go. How many years has Shaka Smart been head coach at Marquette?
6.
Incorrect. Phillip Rivers has how many children?
10.
Correct. How old is Phillip Rivers?
44.
Correct. How old is Aaron Rodgers?
41.
Incorrect. How old is Brian Bulaga?
40.
Incorrect. How old am I?
70.
Incorrect. James Madison is in the college football playoffs. What is their nickname?
Duke.
Correct. What conference is James Madison in?
Sun Belt.
Correct. How many national titles for Nick Saban?
7.
Correct. How many national titles for Urban Meyer?
4.
Incorrect. How many national titles for Kirby Smart?
4.
Incorrect. 1979, Indiana beat an unbeaten BYU in the Holiday Bowl. Who was the coach at Indiana?
Pass.
NBA Bucks player, the worst in the league, 5.9 turnovers per 100 possessions.
Green.
Incorrect. Chris Paul, career points number 41. What former Bucks player is number 42?
Robertson.
Incorrect. What Bucks player is 10 of 23 shooting threes this season, 43.5%?
Pass.
Might as well try now. We're back to who was coaching Indiana when they beat unbeaten BYU in 79. Those are your two choices. What Bucks player is 43.5% three-point shooting, 10 of 23 this season?
Ryan Rollins.
Ryan Rollins is incorrect. And you didn't get the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5. What do you have, Pebble?
I have 5 as well.
All right, now here's the key, Eric. You find out how well you did based on how well Pebble does.
Okay.
Ready? How many years has Shaka Smart been head coach at Marquette?
This is his 4th year?
5th.
5th year?
5th. I think, Eric, didn't you say 6, I think?
He said 6, yeah.
Yes.
How many? Phillip Rivers. Now he has 10, unless his wife. Has his wife announced they have an 11th or
I don't
not?
think so,
So
no.
10. How old is Phillip Rivers? 44. You got that. How old is Aaron Rodgers?
42?
42. Felt bad you missed it by a year. No one realizes how young Brian Bulaga is, guest on this show. How old is Brian Bulaga?
He's a young 36.
36. How old am I? You were not aware, Eric, that
You're
my birthday on
71.
November the 13th, I'm 71. James Madison, yes, the Dukes. They are in the Sun Belt. They have no business being in the football playoffs, but they have to do that or, I don't know, they'd probably sue the football. How many national titles for Nick Saban? Correct. 7. 7. Think of that. How many national titles for Urban Meyer?
3.
3. I think you said 2, didn't you, Eric? Or maybe you said 4. I can't remember.
I think he said 4.
How many national titles for Kirby Smart?
2.
He has 2 as well. 1979, upset BYU in football in the Holiday Bowl. Who was Indiana's coach? He went on to be a...
Oh, the old ball coach, Lee Corso.
Lee Corso is correct. That was a tough one. This is tough, too, because I didn't realize it's the case. NBA, Bucks player, worst in the league, 5.9 turnovers per 100 possessions.
Ryan Rollins. I have
Cole
no clue.
Anthony.
Cole Anthony.
Yes. Chris Paul, career points, number 41. What former Bucks player is number 42?
Dame time, Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard is correct. And this, Eric, whenever you don't have an answer regarding the Bucks, who do you guess?
Giannis.
Giannis. What Bucks player is 10 of 23 shooting threes this season, 43.5%? Tell him, Pebble.
Giannis.
Giannis. I don't know why no one's noticed that. He hasn't shot that many, but that's his best shooting percentage by far. From the field, he's at like 60-some percent, his best percentage there as well. Eric, how did you feel like you did?
About what I expected.
Mm-hmm. Which of the ones you missed do you feel either unlucky or thought you would get it and you didn't?
I felt unlucky on the age questions, being off by a year on 2 of them.
Yeah. And you were only off a year on, you were close on Urban Meyer and Kirby Smart, too.
Yep.
The hard thing to realize is 7 national titles for Nick Saban. 7! Urban Meyer's a great coach. He's got 3. Kirby Smart's a great coach. He's got 2. Added together, and you're still short of Saban. Eric, thanks for trying. You win the $25 gift card from Cousin Subs. And now we have Pebble, who is a big Michigan fan. We don't discuss it much because nobody wants to know about Michigan, but they fired their head football coach. Is that correct?
Yeah, they fired him for cause. Apparently was having an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. Apparently got her pregnant, was the rumor that I heard, and yeah.
Now, this is the part I don't understand.
That if he actually was a good coach, it would have got swept under the rug.
No. Whenever you're involved with somebody at work,
Don't do it.
Well, because you risk in the company risk a sexual harassment, right?
Right.
The person can always say, and many have, many justified, but so anybody thinking of fooling around when they're in a superior position has to know in the world we live in, if it comes out, you're going to get fired, I would assume, regardless of how well you've done, because of the risk the company has that the female, or if it's reversed in a male, is going to file for sexual harassment. And whatever actually occurred, it would appear in today's world, they'll get some defense. Like even if, and I'm not saying in this case, even if the lower person, the secretary, whatever, was actually the aggressive one, in the end, she or he could always say, hey, I felt like I had to for fear of whatever. And so the position of Michigan or any school, I think, to me is probably pretty simple because I would think they have informed people of that. And most everybody would know that. If you want to fool around, the person has to leave the company.
Correct.
And then whatever you do.
That's why most companies frown on fraternization as well.
Right. But I think it's elevated to the point of the number of times and the belief that the person in the lower position can file for sexual harassment on principle alone and probably win. So
more than likely, yeah.
My guess is that businesses are much, the answer would be, well, what would happen if the coach had been far more successful? I don't think it makes any difference. Isn't this similar to what happened, I think, with the Boston Celtics?
Similar, yeah, but I think if he doesn't go 8-5 his first year, or 9-4 likely this year, I think eventually it gets swept under the rug and they just move on. As usual. They pay her off to go away.
Right.
End of story.
Oh, never thought of that. That is also
you don't fire good coaches for stuff like that.
They did in Boston. He was pretty successful, but I believe that you're accurate. But I believe it has moved significantly in the direction of the risk this business takes. Like, so, yeah, you could pay him off, and then that comes out, or what comes out. I would think everybody knows.
But this is the sleazy world of college athletics, Homer.
Well, maybe.
Money makes a lot of things go away.
Right, but I think fooling around exists everywhere.
Correct.
And I don't know who's my expert to say that businesses are much tougher about this than in the past because of the number of legal situations that have occurred as a result of what happened, and then saying, hey, I had no choice. And regardless of how the relationship worked, the person in the lower position can get serious money. But you are correct. We must also factor in the ability to pay someone off. But if it comes out,
that's a whole other can of worms. Yeah.
Michigan, and are you sure that it is going to? And I don't know what the agreements are that when you sign, but I would guess people have a pretty good idea the major risk if it involves someone in, I don't know, the office or at the university. What have they said specifically?
From what I heard, it was like a recruiting staffer.
Okay,
so. But he's married. He's married. Has kids.
Correct.
It's disappointing, but
yeah,
it's not the first time something like that's happened.
And not going to be the last. And again, the issue is like not what were you thinking, but given an understanding of how these things go, you took a huge, huge risk. Jason Wilde about everything else but that. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Southbound on 4394, right about at Beecher, we've got the left shoulder blocked with a crash. That means we've got some hefty delays backing up through the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. So that's something to keep in mind. We've also got a crash on the ramp from 894 southbound to the Rock Freeway southbound off on the left shoulder. So that's going to be starting to slow things down basically from Beloit Road into the Hale. Eastbound 94 slowing from Barker Road to Moreland, and then again from about 84th Street to Hawley Road. Westbound slowing from 27th Street to Hawley Road. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner, dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, gradual clearing, a low of 8 above with a wind chill of 5 to 5 below. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 20. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
In football, what does every great team start with?
A strong defense. Same's true in business.
Defense against what?
Cyber threats. That's why companies use Trend Micro.
What do they actually protect?
Your network, your data, your people, from ransomware, phishing, and more.
So it's not just antivirus?
Not at all. Trend Micro has a full defensive playbook trusted worldwide for over 35 years.
Sounds like the kind of defense every business needs.
Exactly. Don't get blindsided. Go to trendmicro.com and see how enterprise security is done right.
Discount liquor. Did you know that George Washington served his own homemade version of eggnog made with rum, rye whiskey, and sherry? Well, a lot's changed since the days of our first president, but one constant has been celebrating the holiday season and upcoming new year with family, friends, and loved ones. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. 'Tis the season to check out Discount Liquor's tremendous selection of over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines from around the world. And yes, we do carry 8 varieties of ready-to-drink eggnog. Celebrate this most festive time with a great selection of beautifully packaged liquor gift sets, sure to make you the hit of the party or as a perfect gift for the liquor connoisseur on your shopping list. Discount Liquor, 2 locations in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
A father faces homelessness. A mother is hospitalized, and there's no one to watch their children. La Causa Crisis Nursery and Respite Center is the only free 24/7 crisis nursery in Milwaukee. It's a safe and nurturing place for children aged 0 to 12 to stay while their parents work to regain stability and strength. Your generosity keeps La Causa's doors open and provides meals, classroom resources, mental health support, and more. Every child deserves the chance to dream, grow, and thrive. Make a difference by donating today at lacausa.org.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. With holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust Accutrans Group to handle all my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or a festive celebration, Accutrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at 3 Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's just it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit 3 Pillars with living longer.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. The topic now, Jason, I guess is, unless you have something new, is just how good are the Packers, or how good can the Packers be, or however you want to put it.
Yeah, I mean, look, and by the way, good evening, Homer. It's great to talk with you.
Good evening. How are you? How are you tonight?
Oh, gosh, thanks for asking. I'm great. I got my Homer Christmas letter. I'm in such a great mood. So, a couple things. I would say, first off, their offense feels, as we've talked about, frankly, for a few days now, given how they played against the Lions and then against the Bears. I know Love threw that interception, which is obviously not a good play, but that's really the only black mark on his resume the last several weeks. I mean, he's played really, really well. They feel like they've hit kind of a rhythm, right? I was even talking to all the tight ends today, and it feels like they've kind of figured out how they fit into the big picture. They got Watson back 6 weeks ago or whatever it was. Now they've got Reed back. They're hoping that Matthew Golden is trending toward getting healthy so he can be more involved. I think Josh Jacobs, with the offensive line having solidified itself, they've kind of figured out who their best five are. He's looked more like himself, even though he's playing hurt. So on offense, they feel like they're kind of the team that we thought they were capable of. Now, it's a week-to-week league, and you have to keep that going, but I think that's really encouraging, right? So you kind of start there. Then on defense, I know that people want them to be, perfect, and we talk so much about how good they are that when they have series where they give up points, people get frustrated. But it's really hard to be really good defensively in the NFL. The deck is stacked against you. So teams that manage to actually successfully do that, I think they deserve a ton of credit. And I think this defense, Micah Parsons is a field tilter, but I think both their safeties are playing really well. I think your guy, while he had a bunch of tackles, Edgerrin Cooper, they need splash plays from him. They need the stuff that made him a defensive player.
No, he's been a disappointment. There's no other word for it.
I think that's a little harsh, only because you pumped him up to such a degree, and I was trying to get you to ease up a little bit on your expectations.
I wasn't the only one. I believe he was Defensive Player of the Week twice last year. How many times has he won that award this year? Zippo.
None so
How many
far.
times has he done anything where you thought he could win the award? Zippo. Well.
Yeah, again, that's because splash plays are what matter, right? One of my guys who has been gone now for a few years since they traded him is Rasul Douglas, right? Rasul Douglas won Defensive Player of the Week this week in the AFC. Now, I don't want to besmirch Sewell. He won our Tom Mulhern Award a couple of years ago, but I mean, he wasn't on a roster throughout training camp. The people win Defensive Player of the Week awards, even if they're not elite players. But I would say that the expectation is eventually Edgerrin Cooper is going to be an elite player, and he's kind of had a little bit of a, sophomore slump. He hasn't had the impact you expected or I expected. But if I'm putting people on a list of disappointments,
we know who leads this.
It's got to be Rashawn Gary.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for him, because early on, and again, I don't know if he's dealing with an injury. He doesn't talk to us very frequently. I don't have a great relationship where I know him well enough to kind of get him to open up. So I can only go on what I see live, and then when I go back and watch, and he's just not impactful. And earlier in the year, there were some times where he was completely unblocked, right, because they were so worried about what Micah Parsons was doing on their protection. But, he was benefiting from the Parsons effect, and we haven't seen that now in over a month. And so I think, I don't know what exactly it will take to unlock him, but they're playing a defense this week in the Broncos that they've got two good edge rushers, right? Benito is obviously the guy that gets all the attention, but they have that complementary piece. And I'm curious to see if the Packers can get Rashawn Gary going, or if they're going to have to figure out other ways to generate non-Parsons pressure Lucas Van Ness came back to practice
I was
today.
going to say you have to give the defense credit for being as good as they've been with literally nothing from Van Ness and Gary, right? Or very little or whatever.
No, it's very little. Very little. I mean, look, Rashawn Gary's still got 7.5 sacks. He's just been stuck on that for 6 games or 5 games now. And Van Ness, I mean, again, I think it's important. Like, I understand, we always like to say, once you're in the league, it doesn't matter where you started, it's where you finish. But, like, those guys are both first-round picks. Like, whether it's fair to them or not, there's an expectation for greater productivity and more consistent productivity. Now, in Van Ness's case, he suffers the foot injury on a sack against Cincinnati, against Joe Flacco, injures it there, is out for 4 or 5 games, comes back, plays like 6 snaps, realizes his foot isn't better. They hit the reset button. He misses 2 more games. Like, it's been a difficult year for him. But, it doesn't – what I would argue is that if he can give them kind of the lift that they need down the stretch, especially without Devontae Wyatt, like, you move Van Ness inside, I personally would put Kingsley and Egbare on the other side of the edge with Rashawn Gary being less involved personally. But you do that, you got Van Ness inside. You maybe use Carl Brooks. That's a pretty good 4 along with obviously Micah Parsons. So if he's healthy, if he's able to be productive, I think that would certainly help them.
What is at the top of your list about the Packers right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I've got a bunch of stories that I'm working on. One thing that I do think is interesting, and he's going back to Denver this week, is the Brandon McManus kind of experience, right? I mean, he missed his 1 kick all of the regular season last year. He obviously misses the kick against Philly. I get that. But, they signed him to the extension. He solved all of their issues with their kicking game. And then obviously he's got the injury. He comes back too quickly, doesn't kick well, ends up missing another game. And now he's kind of back to being himself. And to me, that's big. And if these games are going to be close, whether it's this game or the second Bears game in Chicago on Saturday the 20th, or the Ravens coming to Green Bay on another Saturday night then the following week, they just announced that it's going to be a primetime game on Peacock. Like, that's going to be a big one for the Ravens, who are trying to win the AFC North. And then they close up shop, obviously, against the Vikings, who I still don't think they're very good, even though they won in a shutout on Sunday against Washington. So, if they're going to be close games, you darn well better have a kicker that you trust. And
I trust him,
at least. Yeah, and it looks like he's kind of back to being himself again, which, I was talking to the long snapper, Matt Orzek, about it, and he said, first of all, like, he's been very good to have Rasick being there. But I said, look, we're all human beings. Like, it's one thing to know that if you struggle, you're going to be replaced and they can always sign someone. It's another thing to have the guy in the building and then have him make a 61-yard kick. And he said, I think he acknowledged that it was difficult to be dealing with the injury, dealing with quote unquote competition. And that, again, I think it was important that Brandon McManus kind of found himself again. And I think that's exactly what he's done. So he goes back to Denver, kind of feeling like, all right, I'm back to being me. And if they need to win on Sunday on a 55-yard field goal, I think everybody from the coaches on down believe that he'll make it.
Yeah, I question whether he was that much worried by someone else in the building. Given
I don't know if
status.
I would say, yeah, that's fair. I mean, look, he's got the contract, right? But again, the NFL has changed. Like, I don't think in 2025, I don't think most NFL teams in 2012 would have done what the Packers did with Mason Crosby, showing that patience when he was struggling. the Packers did. It paid off. He was really good for, a bunch of years after that. But now, for sure, these teams would give up on a guy that struggled that much. There's been a change in the attitude about we can just find another kicker. And so I don't think that he was necessarily feeling overly threatened, but I do think there was probably some pressure that he felt of, I got to get back and kick, and maybe he shouldn't have been. That's how I kind of frame that. But again, what matters is for the final 4 regular season games and the postseason, he's back to being him.
Who's had a good year defensively that hasn't been mentioned as much as they should have?
Well, Enigbare is one of them. I mean, Tausch talked a lot about this, and he was right to do so. For as much attention as the interception, rightfully so, got for Keyshawn Nixon against the Bears, the play before that where Enigbare stops the running back dead in his tracks to force it to be 4th down is enormous too, right? And so, I think he's, again.
It's always seemed like he has done a great deal for given how much time he's played. So something's not there because everybody would say he's a starter, right?
Yeah, look, again, coaches don't want to admit that where you were drafted matters, but they know the what storm it would be if they constantly were playing him ahead of Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary's a $96 million player. And so right now they're basically splitting snaps. I think Gary played 40 snaps and Enigbare played 39 last Sunday. So look, he's a guy that, he's kind of like J-Rone Elliott, if you remember him a few years ago. He was playing when Clay Matthews was at the peak of his powers, and J-Rone wouldn't play much, but man, when he was in there, he made plays. And so, I think he should be in that group. I don't think the next guy that I'm going to mention is failing to get attention, but it's certainly better than even the amount of attention he's getting, and that's Evan Williams. I just think Evan Williams has become, he's not Micah Parsons, he's not Xavier McKinney, but he's a really, really good football player who's really helped these guys, and I think his arrow is just continuing to point up.
Has he? I mean, I'm sure he has. What happened on the last play? I mean, is that a?
Yeah, he screwed up.
Well,
he screwed up.
Okay,
yep.
How horrific a screw up is that, or?
Well,
is it understandable and still a screw up?
It is yes. So it is understandable because what he does is he sees, I think it was Swift, who is open in the flat, and so he abandons his responsibility. So it's not super egregious because the thought process is
he was aggressive.
How it turned out. The thought process is I have to cover this guy. I have to trust that one of my guys will now take the guy I'm supposed to be covering, which is exactly what Keyshawn Nixon did. Now, the trickle-down is DJ Moore is open, and fortunately for them, Williams doesn't see him.
Right, and the runner in the flat could have also been given the ball, the running back, because he would have gotten the first down.
Right, exactly. So it's not like he covered someone who wasn't a threat.
Right.
It just it meant that there had to be some juggling, and fortunately for the Packers, it worked.
So, did you say you were picking Denver? Did I have that right?
Well, I mean, Tausch picked them. Tausch picked them way back in.
He did, yes. But
the schedule came out.
Or have you not made a pick yet?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, you know me. I don't like to. I just always pick the Packers, so then people can't complain. I don't know. There's part of me that would say, you look at the way they've won, and they deserve credit for it. But the Broncos have, I think, had 9 games. 9 of their 11 wins, they were trailing in the fourth quarter and end up winning. Usually you're not able to do that, right? Kind of same with what we were saying about the Bears. They were 6-1 in one-score games. The Packers were, gave them their second loss in such a game. I think that their defense is really good. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yep.
I think if you're a fan of defenses and not a fan of lots of points, then this will be a good game for you. But I watched Bo Nix in college. He played at Oregon at the end of his college career. I think he's good, but I think he's in the developmental stage.
Jordan Love is way better.
Right. No. I'm saying Jordan Love in his second season as a starter, like Jordan went through growing pains last year. So is Bo Nix. Drake May has obviously accelerated his growth faster than other quarterbacks in that draft class, right? I mean, that's the same class as Caleb Williams.
See, I think it's a great game that Packers can elevate their status a little bit more if they win, but if they lose, it really won't affect it much.
No, and what it'll do is it'll make that game against the Bears that much more important again.
Yep.
Because it'll make it again for first place with 2 games to play.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, Homer. Good night. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. I'm next, and then Tim Van Vorn.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We've got a crash on 4394 southbound at Beecher. This is off on the left shoulder, so watch out for that. We've got backups pretty much stretching all the way back past Locust, so be prepared for that. Westbound 94, 27th Street, all the way to Hawley Road is going to be heavy, and then you're back on the brakes just before the county line all the way past Elm Grove Road. On the eastbound side, we've got some backups heading through the Barker Road area to Calhoun, and then from about 84th Street to Hawley Road. Northbound 41, you're seeing delays from Mayfair Road all the way up past Silver Spring, with the southbound side slowing down just before Appleton Avenue to Capitol. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, gradual clearing with a low of 8 above. Wind chills anywhere from 5 above to 5 below. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 20. Weather's brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
They call it the Mile High City for a reason. Denver's altitude, always a topic of conversation when NFL teams visit the Broncos like the Packers will on Sunday. And head coach Matt LaFleur gives some insight on how the team will adjust to the altitude.
We had our performance staff talk to our players today, and there are certain things that you can do, but ultimately it is a circumstance, and you got to try to best prepare your body.
It's Packers-Broncos coming up Sunday. The Packers with the NFC's longest winning streak of 4 games in a row. The Broncos tied for the league-long 10 straight wins. I'm Alex Stroh.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Do you want your car to shine like a diamond? Then you need Z-Gloss from Z-Bart. Z-Gloss gives you a mirror finish and protects your paint from everything Mother Nature can throw at it with a 10-year guarantee. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The holidays are busy. Meals to make, gifts to wrap, parties to host. When it's finally time to unwind, make it blissful with Carbless. Crisp, refreshing, and full of flavor with every sip. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, only 100 calories, and gluten-free. While it may be frozen outside, it's always flawless with Carbless. No guessing and no compromise. So whether you're celebrating with friends, hosting the crew, or relaxing by the fire, bring bliss to your holiday gatherings. Carbless, full of flavor, guilt-free enjoyment.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
As I reflect on the 2025 performance of the James Imaging Systems team, I'm inspired by their power of action, reliable follow-through, and ability to consistently connect with our clients. So thank you for helping our clients grow, profit, and thrive. In addition, I'm humbled by the trust our clients place in the James Imaging Systems expertise to help them succeed, now and in the years to come. As your local business technology partner, I extend my appreciation and gratitude for your ongoing loyalty. Looking forward, I feel that as individuals and as a community, if we display the power of positive action and authentically strive to find common ground, then our local communities will be stronger and our family connections will be secure and enduring. To everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Tim Van Voren is brought to you by The Ticket King, your local and most trusted source for Green Bay football tickets. Visit theticketking.com or call 414-273-6007. You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tim Van Voren, Fox 6 Sports, coming up soon. Tell you about Window Nation end of the year sale. 90% customer satisfaction. I can tell you how much I like Window Nation. Customers are more important. 90%. It's cold here in Milwaukee. Maybe too late to get the windows done? No, because Window Nation right now, not now, they'll do it right now. And Window Nation's end of the year sale, get 50% off, plus you could get 0% interest for 5 years. Could be installed in 1 day. That's why I say right now. Backed with a lifetime warranty and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Sale ends soon, so don't miss out on big savings. And right now, visit windownation.com to get started. Tim Van Voren, momentarily, if you're hitting the road for the holidays, maybe heading up north, doing some shopping, you're just getting out of town, make a quick stop at Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee. It's literally across the Wisconsin border. Yes. In a car. It is 9 seconds across the Wisconsin border. They've got award-winning, organically grown products you can trust, plus incense, apparel, and a ton of great holiday gift ideas. And you got to get the picture with Sasquatch. It's part of the experience. So, Higher Love in Menominee. Start your trip if you wish at findhigherlove.com/CBD. Less than an hour from Green Bay. Yeah, how many seconds? 9 seconds in a car across the border. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD for more info or get to there across the Wisconsin border in Menominee. Tim Van Voren, Fox 6 Sports. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Welcome to Jackpot Land, this fall at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all fall to win your share of thousands in prizes each month and earn entries into the big December Jackpot Land prize drawings. Your October, November, and December entries all count. Win thousands in cash or reward play. Welcome to Jackpot Land, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Time's running out. It's the final chance of 2025 to save big at the Last Call Savings Event. This month at Eunice, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on select new vehicles across multiple brands. Or take advantage of huge discounts and rebates on all new in-stock cars, trucks, and SUVs from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Thinking pre-owned? Check your local dealer website for a new selection of discounted pre-owned super specials and shop our group-wide inventory of over 700 pre-owned under 20 grand and over 300 under 10 grand. Plus, we have great service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes. Hurry in. When 2025 ends, so do the savings. Start your search today at shopunis.com. 0% APR financing for 60 months on select models with approved credit through OEM lenders. Not all buyers qualify. Rate set by lender with approval subject to buyer insurability. 0% for 60 months equals $1,667 for $1,000 finance. Excludes tax, title, license, and $499 dealer service fee. Offer ends 1/5/26.
Homer here for Window Nation's end of the year sale. It's cold here in Milwaukee, and if you've been thinking about new windows, it's good you waited, because during Window Nation's end of the year sale, get 50% off, plus you could get 0% interest for 5 years. On windows that stop the cold wintry drafts, seal out moisture, and so energy efficient, you'll save money on your utility bills. Installed in 1 day. Lifetime warranty and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Sale ends soon. Don't miss out on big savings. WindowNation.com to get started.
Hey guys, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to give you some advice. If you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, the Jewelry Center has to be your stop for the ring. It's what I did. They're the best place to shop for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. I didn't know what to get, but with help of a Pinterest board, the Jewelry Center and their team of specialists took care of everything from start to finish. Naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, whatever you're in the market for, when it comes to an engagement ring, the Jewelry Center has it. Find locations and inventory online at shoptjc.com.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Hey sports fans, looking to level up your next private event? V Private Bar Services is your game changer. Move beyond the ordinary. V Private Bar Services crafts custom cocktails tailored to your brand and your guests' tastes. Imagine a bar experience that's as unique as your business. Our expert mixologists will create a memorable experience that your clients and team will rave about. From signature cocktails to full-service bars, we've got you covered. Be the MVP of your next event. Visit vprivatebar.com to book today.
There's a holiday gift out there that everyone loves. It's compact, tasty, and one size fits all. It's a Cousin Subs gift card. Make your life a little easier. Give your friends and family a better gift this holiday season. Purchase $30 in gift cards today at your favorite Cousin Subs location and receive a certificate for a free 7.5-inch sub. Oh man, that's the gift that keeps on giving. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Rain Man is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Purchase $30 worth of Cousin Subs gift cards and receive a certificate for a free 7.5-inch sub. It's the gift that keeps on giving from Cousin Subs. Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The three most important letters in sports. Even better than those.
TVV.
It's Fox 6 Sports Director Tim Van Voren on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. Tim Van Voren is brought to you by The Ticket King, your local and most trusted source for Green Bay football tickets. Visit theticketking.com or call 414-273-6007.
Tim Van Voren, Fox 6 Sports, three-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year. I want to know what he's thinking about the Green Bay Packers after the win over the Bears. TVV, good evening. Take it away. I'll be listening for tone in addition to words.
Homer, you're the best. Thanks for the lead-in. I would say round one was sensational. That was great football. 21-21 football game on a brisk December Sunday late afternoon. The country's watching. The game's up for grabs. Oh, that's tremendous. So, again, round one of this matchup, which is going to be a legit matchup, in my opinion, for the next 3 years. I wasn't sure what to make of the Bears. I was impressed. I think they have a lot of pieces, and they're coming. And you know what? Green Bay still beat them by being smart and, aside from the Jordan Love interception, careful and, the better team. So I'm not sure Green Bay sweeps them. I would have thought a split was likely going into these two games, and I would still think that. But the Packers, 4 straight wins. It was only a month ago, Homer, when there were way more questions than answers about this football team, and they have played well, which they continued Sunday.
What impressed you most about the Packers?
I liked their game plan, which is a flip on what concerns me most about the Packers. They can't stop the run, Homer. They knew they couldn't stop the run. They wanted to possess the ball in the first half so the Bears would be on the sidelines with their running game, and it would have worked the whole game if the offense had been able to do a little bit in the third quarter. They couldn't make conversions. They couldn't get the first down chains moving, so they had to punt the ball back to the Bears, and the Bears did what you thought they might be able to do, and which they're going to think they can do again on December 20th, which is run the ball. So I like the Packers' game plan, and I would say I'm impressed by what the Bears did, too. In the first half in particular, Ben Johnson had clearly told Caleb Williams, If there's nothing there in the passing game, just throw the ball away. Just throw it away. He chucked the ball 20 yards out of bounds on multiple occasions.
He threw it further away than you've ever seen a quarterback ever do it, right? Okay.
Because it was in his head, do not make a mistake. We're going to win. I'm saying these are Chicago coaches now. We're going to win this game on the ground. Do not make a mistake. Eventually, our running game is going to win. And, it came close to being that. I think the Packers have grave concerns about stopping the run right now. That's why they're signing these big bodies. That's why they tried playing one last week. Maybe they'll try them both. Maybe they'll try him again. They have to figure out a way to stop between the tackle runs against Chicago or whoever else that they're going to play the rest of the season. But I like the fact that they acknowledged it and they had a complementary game plan to combat it.
Have the 4 wins had any impact on your view of LaFleur as a head coach?
I think he's had a good month. I would say I don't think the big picture really has changed because last year they were in very good shape until they lost their last 2 regular season games and their first playoff game, and then everybody had the sour taste afterwards. If this still ends early in the postseason or, it fades into the postseason, I think the same questions that were being asked 6 weeks ago will be back on the front burner. But I would say LaFleur has had a good month, and maybe the questions that he had to answer or the self-reflection he had to do in the middle part of this season has led him to be a better coach. I kind of want to ask him. We don't get much just kind of, hey, let's be candid time with Matt LaFleur, but I kind of want to ask him, has he changed? Is he a different coach now?
I don't need to hear from him. I just need to hear from you, given your experience, and whether or not you think he has.
Well, I would say again, I think he's had a good month. I think the Detroit Thanksgiving game, he called that more aggressively than he normally would call. Right. He says he wants to be aggressive. He said that again today up here in Green Bay. More than likely, more often than not, we want to be aggressive, but sometimes you can't be. And
what does that mean?
That's what he has to overcome.
I want to know what that means. Does it means they're going to run the ball even if they don't run it well? They feel like they need to do that, or he's going to go on 4th down. What is aggressive?
Okay, if you're playing the Buccaneers and you're at the 10-yard line in the playoffs, I don't think you're going to kick a field goal. All right? I mean, that's aggressive, right? And, that would be a change from where he's been in the past. I think also allowing Jordan Love more freedom to throw the ball is more aggressive. It may not look like, we're trying to take the long pass every single series, but allowing him to throw the ball earlier in the season, the passing game just was not as open as it is now. And some of that's because Christian Watson and Jaden Reed are back. That dovetails with this as well. But you know who their second leading receiver is this year in yards, Homer? Right now?
I have no idea. Jacobs.
Tucker Kraft. Which that tells you something, how big he was early in the year.
I don't feel like they're missing him. I don't think they're missing him.
That's the whole thing. You can't forget how big he was early in the year. And now you're seeing Wicks has a big game. Watson has a big game. Reed adds to the attack.
Wait a minute. This is all about Christian Watson, right? Hasn't he elevated? This is nice you bring up, but he has elevated himself to a number 1 wide receiver. That doesn't mean he's that forever. But right now, has he not performed? This is what we really loved at TVV, because when I say it, it's not, but you say, has Christian Watson elevated himself to a number 1 wide receiver, or am I a little too early?
You might be early, but I would say one of the moves of the year by Brian Gutekunst was contract extension for Christian Watson while he was rehabbing. That he's so far beyond the value of that contract right now, and he's comfortable because he's not worried about where am I going to be next year, and he is growing into that role as number 1 wide receiver. That play against the Bears was so reminiscent of the play against the Eagles, which we all saw the highlight of for 3 years after that, it seemed like. You know why? It wasn't because of Christian Watson. Everyone was talking about, well, look what Jordan Love can do. Because if you remember, that was a Sunday night. Rodgers went out and got hurt, and Love came in, and he threw that crossing pass to Christian Watson. It makes Jordan Love look great. Oh, that's a 60-yard pass for Jordan Love. Yeah, because Christian Watson ran away from everybody. And there was the same play against Chicago the other day. He just ran away from the Bears defense. So that is what Christian Watson can do. And I would say the contract extension to him is a sneaky move of the year by the Packers.
And clearly they said to me, Homer, you're talking about Wicks. Come on, be smarter. Jaden Reed is the man. He's number 2. I'll say, okay.
Well, my reference to Wicks was Wicks did have the big game in Detroit. And that's what I'm saying is since Kraft went down, different guys have had big games. Romeo Doubs hasn't had one in a while. Maybe it's Dobbs' turn next as the wheel spins. I don't know. But obviously the Packers felt it was important to get the ball in Jaden Reed's hands. The first play of the game the other day when they had the ball. Boom. That's Jaden Reed. Boom, Jaden Reed on the ground. Boom, Jaden Reed is in the in all the route trees, even though it's his first game back off injury. So there's no doubt that Jaden Reed brings a ton to that offense. And, he and Watson kind of complement each other. If you think about the offense, and maybe this is where LaFleur gets more points than he than he was getting otherwise. Maybe he recognized we're not the same team without Watson and Reed. We need those guys back. What can we do in the interim? It had to be Tucker Kraft at that time. I don't know. But, the way the season's playing out, with those two guys back here at the end of the year, everybody at practice today, Josh Jacobs out there riding the bike a little bit, so, not doing everything, but everybody back at practice, the carrot is dangling there for the Packers. It's all within their grasp. The thing of it is, last year they faded mightily at the tail end of the year.
True. Brian Bulaga wouldn't say it, but I will. A break that Elton Jenkins got hurt, the offensive line has been better since then. Now, it could be a huge issue if they have an injury issue to deal with, but the offensive line has been better since Elton Jenkins got hurt. Join that club?
Yes, the offensive line's been way better with Sean Ryan at center and, 1 and 1A on that, Anthony Belton at right guard. Belton, you see his inexperience, but you also see what he's capable of doing. And now because those guys are doing what they're doing at those interior positions, I think Aaron Banks has played a lot better. Early in the year, you were kind of like, what kind of signing was Aaron Banks? And I'm not moving that up into the genius category like Christian Watson yet, but that one looks better because he's playing better too.
All right, and now my big question. Kingsley Enagbare, does he deserve to play as much as Rashawn Gary? Enagbare, excuse me.
You know what? Gary is more valuable than we all think. He does more things than we think. He made the Pro Bowl last year. People in the game think he does more than the casual observer does. So I'm not ready to go as far as you are there, but I do like Enagbare.
What has happened to Gary in 15 seconds? What's going on? Is he hurt?
My 15-second hit, how long can I stretch out? I don't know.
You got that in. You can say it again. Say it one more time because it doesn't happen.
I still don't know.
And lastly, anybody in the Tim Van Vorn Scouting Bureau that you want to mention as you've done in the past to watch?
Well, he's not a surprise because people can see how good he is right now, but Javon Bullard, major year 2 jump.
Oh, you never disappoint. TVV, thanks.
See you, Homer.
Tim Van Vorn, Fox 6 Sports. We go to Pato next.
All right, southbound on 894.